Hi, it's Nikki at Polkadoodles. So I just thought I would kind of, while I'm here and I'm doing a few videos, I wanted to just kind of show you another one. So I thought I would just do the same demo that I have been doing on Create and Craft, just so that it's slowed down. So if you missed it, you can actually see what it was that I did. So basically, I've got here a piece of watercolour card. No idea where it's from, it's just a cheapo piece of card. And I'm going to use the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, which, as you know by now, I absolutely love. So I'm just going to use a little bit of paint. These are watercolours, very, very opaque. And this is just like a little piece of packaging, basically. You could use a piece of acetate if you want to. It's just what I've got to hand. Okay. So I've just wet that and putting it on there. I'm going to actually just turn my card over, smush it out. Let's turn it over and smooth that right out. And as you can see, I've got a really solid coverage there, which is quite nice. And then I like to just kind of, where there's like a little bit of density of colour, just kind of if you put your fingers in, look, you can actually get rid of, if you wet your finger, it will actually just help you to extend that colour a little bit. And just if you find that it's a bit too much, a bit too dark, that's just a slightly damp tissue, baby wipe, whatever it is you want to use. Tissue is a bit better than a baby wipe. But I've still got some colour here, so I'm going to go back in. Let's just use all of this colour up, okay? And if we wanted to, we could actually add a bit more colour in. Let me see, I've got a really nice blue here, which might work quite well. Might go a bit purpley, we'll see. You know, it's just about playing around with those techniques that we did when we were kids. You know, there's nothing amazingly complicated here. It's all very, very easy. So just use all of that paint, don't waste any of it. If you wanted to, you could spray. And again, you know, if you want to just take some of it back so you get more subtle, just use that baby wipe. Now that's just a little bit damp, so I'm going to just dry that off with my heat gun. And I'm picking up a little bit of a shimmer because I've been using something, some metallic pan pastels, so I've got a little bit of shimmer going on, and I've got some shimmer in my water. So what I want to do is I'm just going to come back to my these are the Kuretake Gansai Tambi starry colours. Oops. And I'm just going to add some metallic. And just turn your paper so that you get a really nice kind of a controlled but random selection, and mix these golds because they all look really, really different. So if you actually mix them, you can, you know, if you want to dab in, if you want a bigger area, because it's quite nice to actually have some quite big spots and some smaller spots. Okay, and then once you're happy with that, I'm going to just dry that off. And as I said before, you'll actually find that it's better to let this dry on its own. If you let them dry on their own, what happens is they kind of pool, so you get a much, I don't know, I just find that they sit on the surface of the paper a bit better. When I dry them like this, they tend to move around a little bit, and I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me imagining it, but just look at how lovely that metallic sheen is on there. You see that? And if you wanted to, it's quite nice, as you've seen me do like a million times now. You're probably all getting quite bored with me doing this technique now, but you know, if you actually add quite a bit of water in, you can then actually start making some nice drips going on. All I would say is I wouldn't do that too much. because it can go from looking arty to kind of like really contrived, and then it doesn't work too much. And the other thing is that I like to do is I like to just get my fingers in, and I can disperse the colour then where I want it to be. If you find that you get like a big pool of colour that you don't want, like there, and just using that, as I say, just a very, very slightly damp baby wipe or just a tissue, but you will remove some of that colour and some of that paint, because they are paints and they are watercolours. They're just very, very opaque. So if I show you, look at the sheen on that. Wow, it's amazing. I can't stop using these. They're just stunning. And what I really love is where you get this metallic on a non-metallic colour. I just think pink and gold is such a nice effect. And do you know what? Now I've seen that, I actually want to put a bit stronger pink on. So I'm going to go back here and let's just add some stronger colour. And I might have over-egged it a little bit there. But just, I think it can take it. And just make sure you get around the edges a bit. So it, you know, because the thing with this, when you do this, it just has to not look like it's contrived. It needs to look like it was an accident. And then just, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to buff that off. So if there is any colour on top of that metallic, the metallic will kind of resist it. So look, so it's just a little bit stronger. So what I'm going to do now, just very, very simply, I'm just going to stamp. So I've got my, where am I? Got my lovely Summertime stamps. And I'm just going to, I've got my, yeah, found them. I'm just going to use a Versamark. And the reason I'm using Versamark is because it is slightly waterproof. And basically it just works against the paints really nicely. So you know, just don't use a Memento for this. You'll find that you don't get quite such a good result if you use a Memento. It'll it just won't stick quite so well onto the metallic ink. And then I'm just going to very simply, the block's a little bit big, and we'll just do this. Got some little bubbles here. They're like little circle bubbles, and I love these because they just add, I don't know, they just add something, just make it a bit magical really. Very forgiving, these stamps, as you can see. And I just want to add a leaf. And I've got a little bud here, so I'm going to use the bud as a leaf, which is quite pretty. And then I've got a little hello, which is just what I want. And I'm just going to stamp that into there. And then lastly, I have here, this is my graphic fine liner pen, which is just amazing. I can't live with it without this. And I'm just going to draw around, just to do a frame. You guys at home, if you like matting and layering, you mat and layer. I'm not a mat and layer person. I actually prefer not to. Sometimes there's times and places for it. But basically this is just like a little 6x6 card. And then I would just glue that on there. There you go. And that's finished. Pretty. Super, super pretty. And all I would do is literally just put a bit of a ribbon on. I don't have one to hand. Oh, should have had a bit of ribbon. But just a nice little ribbon just at the bottom there. And it will just finish it off. So that's just how to do that really super easy technique, but it gives you a really arty look to your card. Quite expensive, I think, that looks as well. So really nice. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye.